Welcome to Alice Just Alice 55. You're listening to an AI-narrated audiobook version of my original story, The Unclaimed Werewolf, an Unbound Wolves novel, written by Alice N. Smith. Chapter 34, Where She Steps Back into Skin. Nora woke knowing, not because the pain was gone, healing never worked that cleanly, but because it had changed. The ache in her arm had dulled to something deep and quiet, no longer sharp enough to demand her attention. She flexed her fingers slowly, then her wrist, testing range instead of strength. No tearing, no flare of warning. She smiled before she could stop herself. Carefully, she unwound the last of the bandages. The skin beneath was marked, tender, and already knitting itself into something stronger than before. She rolled her shoulder once, then twice. Still fine. "Oh," she whispered, excitement fizzing under her ribs. "Oh, I've missed this." Morcel was on his feet instantly, tail whipping so hard his whole back end wobbled. "I know," she laughed. "I know." She didn't bother with explanation. She stepped out into the clearing, the morning air crisp and bright, and let go. The shift rolled through her fast and clean, bone and muscle reshaping with a familiar rush, fur spilling across skin that welcomed it like coming home. The world sharpened, widened, filled with scent and sound and rightness. She shook herself once, hard. Morsel barked, sharp, delighted, and launched himself at her shoulder like he'd been waiting days for permission. Nora dropped into a play bow, front legs bent, hindquarters high. She growled playfully. Morsel yipped and bolted. She tore after him, paws eating ground, laughing in the way only a wolf could, all joy and motion and breath. They dodged trees, skidded through leaves, splashed through the shallow edge of the creek, and burst back out the other side, soaked and triumphant. She let him win once, just once. When she finally skidded to a stop, tongue lolling, she caught a new scent, familiar, amused, very still. She turned. Brooks and Eamon stood near the edge of the clearing, both watching her with expressions she didn't see often. Not guarded, not calculating, just caught. For a heartbeat, she considered bristling out of reflex. Instead, she trotted a few steps closer, tail high, eyes bright, and stuck her tongue out at them. Both men blinked. Then she spun and ran. Eamon laughed first, surprised and unguarded. Brooks snorted once, shaking his head. "Well," Brooks said, already shrugging out of his human stance, "I suppose that answers that." Eamon didn't bother replying. Two more shifts rippled through the clearing, powerful, practiced, and then they were moving, chasing her scent as it twisted and doubled back on itself, deliberate and teasing. She let them close, then widened the gap again. The three of them thundered through the forest, not rivals, not council pieces, just wolves in motion, breath and muscle and shared instinct. For a few precious minutes there was nothing else. No pressure, no scarcity, no table waiting to be filled. Then everything changed. Nora caught it first. Her stride faltered mid-bound as a foreign scent sliced through the air. Sharp, wrong, threaded with purpose. Her hackles lifted instantly, play evaporating into alertness. Morsel skidded to a stop beside her, growl low and uncertain. Behind her, both wolves slowed at the same moment. Brooks lifted his head, nostrils flaring. Eamon froze, ears pricked forward. "Council," his posture said. Or worse. Nora's tail dropped, body going still, joy draining into something hard and ready. She glanced back at them once, eyes no longer playful. You smell it too. Whatever had entered her land hadn't come to watch. And it hadn't come by accident. The forest fell silent around them, the kind of silence that meant something had already begun.